This is ABS, the face of national broadcasting. Broadcasting live from ABS Studio in St. John's, Antigua, this is the ABS Evening News.
On our broadcast tonight, Colin James rebuffs comments from Rob Barrett criticising the operations of the Tourism Authority.
Cruise tourism boosts. The country makes impressive presentation at cruise conference in Puerto Rico.
Day 4 of the Humberto Shinato murder trial. The court hears the senior citizen was planning to kill himself after the alleged murder of his wife.
And yet another fire, 2 structures razed by mid-afternoon blaze. The ABS Evening News begins now.
The local evening news is brought to you by Nagico, local agents Bryson's Insurance.
Good evening, it is Monday night. I am here with Donna Marie McIntosh. I am Terry Andrew. Welcome. Now, Chief Executive Officer of the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, ABTA, Colin James, has responded to a recent media statement from hotel mogul Rob Barrett. In a release last week, Barrett, who is the chairman of Elite Island Resorts, labeled aspects of the ABTA's operation a national disgrace.
He insisted there should be greater accountability and transparency regarding the spending of funds by the authority. However, James has shot back, arguing it is inaccurate to suggest that the financial operations of the ABTA are not transparent.
He noted that each month a detailed list of invoices associated with payments from the 2% fund is delivered to the Permanent Secretary in the Tourism Ministry and the Accountant General to ensure that account is taken of every cent.
We have a situation where every month we produce a sheet for the drawdown of the 2% marketing fund, which has the express approval of the board, which then goes to the Permanent Secretary for her express approval before it goes to the Accountant General for those funds to be disbursed to the Tourism Authority. And then we have to account at the end of every month for every invoice that we pay. And so to say that there is no transparency is really unfortunate, because nothing could be further from the truth. And I think what we have put out in the media is to lay that to rest, so that the reputation of the folks who sit on the ABTA board remains intact, because we value our reputation highly. We value what we do for Antigua and Barbuda. We have a representative of the AHTA who sits on our board who has access to that information.
The Tourism Authority's CEO asserted that allegations that the Tourism Authority is not transparent wrongfully indicts a cross-section of persons of high repute. The accounts of the Tourism Authority are audited annually by KPMG and are sent to the Ministers of Finance, the Minister of Finance and Ministers of Finance and Tourism for tabling in Parliament.
Now, in another story, the nation could see more cruise vessels calling here after what is seen as an impressive presentation by a local delegation at the annual Florida Caribbean Cruise Association conference. Tourism Minister, the Honourable Asot Michael, led the high-level delegation which presented a cruise shipping master plan at the event, as Sherilyn Beezer reports.
In a series of high-level one-on-one meetings, the Antigua and Barbuda delegation made presentations showing the impressive improvements that are already on the way at Port St. John's, Antigua. The presentations shared the details of the already commenced construction, as well as plans to construct 2 additional berths to accommodate the largest ships currently in operation and a passenger terminal to support home porting. Additional dredging will also be made to the turning basin and the approach channel to the harbor. Future phases of the project include environmentally friendly public spaces and 130,000 square feet of retail space to accommodate high-end Anchor Brands shops. The project will also see a light railway tram to transport cruise passengers between the 2 transportation hubs at the northern and southern ends of the harbor. The entire architecture of the new facilities will be done in vintage Antiguan colonial facade to bring back the charm and character of Old St. John's, which is a major attraction for cruise passengers. A presentation was also made to the influential FCCA Operations Committee promoting new fuel bunkering services now being offered by the government via WEOC and Shell, the leading oil company for fuel bunkering in the region. The first of its kind offering in Antigua will allow cruise ships to easily take on fuel at very competitive prices at any of the piers while they berth in Port St. John's. Sherilyn Beezer reporting for ABS News.
Meanwhile, Antigua's efforts in port expansion have already yielded tangible results. Royal Caribbean has confirmed that the Anthem of the Seas will be making its inaugural call this December with 5,000 passengers. This will be as a direct result of the extension to the existing pier and the completion of dredging works. Additionally, for the season 2016-2017, the destination will receive a total of 93 calls from RCCL, up from 81 calls last season. This will represent a significant surge in total passengers from 213,000 last season to 237,000 this season. Other noteworthy increases in cruise calls for the future include Princess Cruise Lines. That entity says due to planned improvements, Antigua will be included in a new 7-day cruise from Fort Lauderdale to begin in 2018-2019, which will be calling all year round.
Now in this ABS News exclusive, another hotel property has quickened the pace of renovations ahead of the start of the winter tourist season. This is as it pushes to return to its halcyon days. The Halcyon Cove wants to shake off a tarnished image of low occupancy and rundown facilities to offer an improved guest experience. As Elisa Graham reports, the hotel's efforts come at a time when the government has called for a greater buy-in from hoteliers to boost the appeal of the destination.
It is one of the properties that Prime Minister the Honourable Gaston Brown and Tourism Minister the Honourable Asset Michael have made reference to on many occasions, urging the owners and management to invest in the property or else. Some observers argue the frequent management changes have hurt the brand and contributed to some of the challenges the property faces. Notwithstanding, the 220-room hotel still has its loyal customers who are waiting patiently for the property to be fully restored. Over the last year, a change in management has brought fresh ideas that have been successful. The property's accountant, Renata Wilson, says the hotel has stayed open all year round for the past 2 years, an accomplishment he describes which is in the best interest of the staff.
I'm a strong believer. This is our main industry. Hospitality, it's our main industry, and it's, I should say, a travesty that this is the industry that suffers the most. You don't get this with the banks, you don't get this with no other sort of industry. And my GM is from South Africa, and he pretty much say, it's up to the hotels basically to have the occupancy a certain way, because the staff, they should not be, working days basically, because they're the ones suffering. Yeah. So it's important that the hotel remains open. And no, it would be best for us to close and actually do the refurbishment. But at this time, I don't think it's wise for our staff and everything else. Yeah.
Wilson indicates that the company is very focused on changing the negative perception associated with the property.
For me, as a new management team, I somewhat will blame, I can blame management. I think for us, myself, the GM, we're pretty much new. It's about new vision, new sight, new, looking at it from a different point of view. And that's what we will bring, compared to, let's say, in the past, what has happened in the past. I think sometimes when you're in a location for quite some time, you tend to lose sight of certain things.
In preparation for the upcoming winter season, improvements are already being made to enhance the property.
So we've replaced all of the beds basically. Presently we are repairing the rooms. We're changing some of the roof because of leaks that we've had. We've repainted several blocks already. And that's one of the things for the season, where we will try and have the whole place repainted, repairs, maintenance, just keep it, up to standards.
Day passes, discounted rates and other specials are just some of the incentives to locals. Wilson explains that the overall objective is to ensure that the hotel remains relevant.
Not a lot of hotels who would do these sort of things. And it's not to say that it's a profit-making venture. It is something, people can come. It's all about building, restoring what was before with regards to house here. And that's one of the things.
For ABS News, Elisa Graham reporting.
Still in the tourism sector, Antigua and Barbuda is in contention for one of the most prestigious awards in the world of tourism. The country is on a short list of countries vying for the coveted award of world's leading honeymoon destination, among the other Caribbean countries nominated as Jamaica, St. Lucia and Barbados. Elisa Graham has more details on this award from the World Travel Awards, which rewards excellence in travel, tourism and hospitality industry.
Antigua and Barbuda is considered one of the easiest Caribbean islands to get married in. With no residency requirement, the destination holds a record number of marriages annually and has gained recognition as a leader in the wedding, honeymoon, and romance market. The destination also boasts award-winning properties, romance-inducing landscapes, and has a luxurious beach for every day of the year. In September, Antigua and Barbuda was presented with the World Travel Award for the Caribbean's most romantic destination. The 2015 winner of the Caribbean's most romantic destination and the 2013 winner of the Caribbean's leading honeymoon destination is also Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda has also received nominations in 5 categories for the World Awards. They are World's Most Romantic Resort, World's Leading Resort, World's Leading Green Resort, World's Leading Design Hotel, and World's Leading Honeymoon Resort. The nominated hotels in these categories are Sandals Grand Antigua Resort and Spa, Curtain Bluff Resort, and Hermitage Bay Resort. The winner of the world's leading honeymoon destination and other world awards will be announced by the World Travel Awards in December. For ABS News, Elisa Graham reporting.
Now, witnesses say Humberto Shinato made chilling remarks about his wife mere hours before she was stabbed to death in the parking lot outside Epicurean Fine Foods and Pharmacy 3 years ago. The owner and an employee of Tony's Water Sports and Bar in Dickinson's Bay says the defendant, who is now on trial for murder, made a visit to the establishment on the day of the killing. Bar owner Anthony Emmanuel says when he asked Humberto Shinato how his wife was doing, the defendant replied he wished she was dead. Emmanuel, who says he had known the couple for at least 10 years, says the man repeated the statement even after he told him that he should not. This evidence was corroborated by employee Marlon Henry, who said he overheard the conversation. Prosecutors allege the defendant murdered his 72-year-old wife, Eda Shinato, in broad daylight on June 3, 2013.
Meanwhile, the murder suspect, Humberto Shinato, told police he stabbed his wife want to attend a civil court hearing that was scheduled for the following day. That's according to evidence given by Police Corporal Egan Anthony, who says he recorded the defendant's accused statement on the day of the killing. During his testimony on Monday, the investigator was instructed to read the contents of the document aloud in court. In it, Shinato reportedly said he ran into his wife by chance that day, and when he told her to ensure she attended an upcoming hearing, she told him she would not. He said after asking 3 or 4 times and receiving the same answer, he took his knife from his pocket and stabbed her. The man reportedly told investigators he had then intended to drive to Fort James Beach to kill himself by jumping from an elevated area on rocks below. He closed the statement by applauding officers who managed to distract him and snatch the knife from his hand. According to testimony given by the dead woman's attorney, the civil matter involved a long-standing dispute over a property in which the accused claimed he had invested over $1 million. The attorney, Georges Mendez Blackman, said both parties had received judgment in their favors at different stages of the dispute, and the upcoming hearing would have been the start of a retrial.
Now, another property has been razed by fire in this country, sparking continued concern about the spate of blazes. The latest incident happened shortly after 4:30 this afternoon on Stetson Avenue off D'Souza Road in Lower Otters. Firemen rushed to the scene around 4:45 p.m. but could not save 2 wooden structures. An 11-by-4 shop and a 27-by-28 house went up in flames in the quiet neighborhood. Another house was grazed by the blaze. 2 men in the area at the time had made attempts to use buckets of water to extinguish the blaze, but to no avail. As onlookers gathered on the scene, firemen worked feverishly to make sure the inferno did not spread to other nearby homes. It is unclear what started the fire, but firemen say electricity was connected to the house and the shop. It's unclear at this time who is the owner of the property. APOA had to be called in to disconnect power to the property. Fire incidents for the year continue to rise here on the island, and fire officials are appealing to general public to practice safety tips around the home.
The very latest now on a story ABS reported last week and has since been closely tracking. Attorney General and Minister responsible for public safety, the Honorable Steadroy Benjamin, has weighed in on the debate in some quarters about how the police executed a search warrant last week. The minister said the police's actions are backed up by the law of the land. His comments come even as some continue to raise howls of concerns after watching a cell phone recording of the search, which led to one man being arrested and charged. We get our report on this from Sherilyn Visa.
Carry this for your lawyer. No. Tell the lawyer we search your place under the wrong name.
No, sir. No, sir. About with that. You can't search a place under the wrong name.
The video has gone viral on social media, showing a man strongly objecting the police's search of the premises. Joel Anthony was concerned that the name on the warrant did not match the name of the person who owns the property. Anthony was later charged with resisting arrest, escaping lawful custody, and assault and battery on police. Public Relations Officer for the police, Senior Sergeant Frankie Thomas, is staunchly defending the police's actions. He told us the police were executing the warrant, which was issued under the owner's name, and Anthony was an employee on the premises and therefore was subjected to the search. Even as the matter remains under investigation, the woman who filmed the incident is still asking questions about whether the police acted legally.
The police is saying that the search was a good search because the warrant was in the owner's name, and any employee is subjected to the search because they were on the premises. But the warrant still wasn't in the owner's name because the baker shop belongs to his mother.
However, the Attorney General told ABS the police had a legal right to execute the warrant and says in the specific case, no wrongdoing was committed by the officers. Minister Benjamin told us the police can enter a property once they have reason to believe illegal activities are taking place there. Attention now turns to the court case against Joel Anthony, who will be answering to 3 charges. Sherilyn Visa reporting for ABS News.
In another story, the government has outlined plans for major roadworks for the sister Isle of Barbuda. Works Minister the Honourable Eustace Lake says roads are a priority on the island, even as mega hotel and port investments will be undertaken there.
We've had a team that have gone to Barbuda also. Just to let you know, Antigua and Barbuda works as one team. We have a team that went over there, did an assessment of the roads. We're currently continuing to seek financing. And part of this team is my Prime Minister and the Minister of Sports, Chet Green. Both called me and told me what the situation was. I have my director, who I then sent over to Barbuda, and Mr. King, one of the senior engineers in the organization, and they've also reported back to me. So Barbuda, we're coming.
ABS reported yesterday that heavy-duty equipment has arrived in Antigua in preparation for a significant program of road rehabilitation. 8 of the most frequently travelled roadways have been earmarked for rehabilitation. The funds have been allocated under a $20 million grant from the British government in the Caribbean Infrastructure Development Fund. 3 of those, Friars Hill, Anchorage and Herbert's roads, are to be resurfaced shortly. When we come back, a few key players are missing from the Benaboy squad over in Curacao. This story tops our sports up next.
And also here for us, Hurricane Matthew is still making its presence felt among islands in the Greater Antilles. Plus, news involving Donald Trump and the U.S. presidential candidate may not have paid income tax for 18 years. These stories are all ahead for us. Stay tuned.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Healthcare is an extraordinary concern to everyone, especially with rising health costs seen today. However, health tourism offers an alternative where the people can receive the same medical care at affordable prices outside of the U.S. by American-trained physicians. in a state-of-the-art hospital. Meet her medical team.
I'm Dr. Dean Heller. I am an interventional cardiologist from Miami, Florida.
My name is Lawrence Birnbaum. I'm a plastic and reconstructive surgeon that has practiced in the city of Beverly Hills.
My name is Robert Parisi. I'm a plastic and reconstructive surgery from Chicago, Illinois.
Come to Barbados and have the 4-in-1 experience. Health, hospital, hotel, and holiday.
Think you can't afford the home you've always wanted? Or upgrade the home you currently have? Well, think again. At ACB Mortgage and Trust, we'll listen to your needs and offer excellent terms with a low rate that will get you feeling at home in no time. So let's talk. Give us a call at 481-4300. Get a mortgage you can live with at ACB Mortgage and Trust.
Murder! I leave Lord Jesus, my hungry bad, and me here a brownie, the only place I can get from bread and cheese right now.
And not just bread and cheese alone you can get bread, bacon, egg, corned beef, tuna, saltfish, herring, chicken fangs, vegetable, everything.
The Brownie Bakery?
Brownie Bakery, all of them, every last one. St. John Street, Herbert's, Westport Station, Alsons Road, Marble Hill, Old Palm Road, Factory Road, High Street. No matter which part you want to go, you get breakfast.
Oh, and me here the one from High Street to move over to St. Mary Street.
So you just have to go over there for your breakfast.
You have heard it before. You have heard it many times before. The hurricane season is real. The hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? Are you insured? Be comforted. ABI Insurance can be your shelter in the time of storm. They carry a wide range of insurance products. Coverage for your house, coverage for your boat, coverage for your motor vehicle, coverage for the contents in your house, including your valuables. Visit them today on Redcliffe Street in the ABI Financial Center building, or call them at 484-6400. They are prepared to give you real good coverage and service. I'm Philbert Mason, and I endorse ABI Insurance. Call them, and they will take care of you. ABI Insurance, coverage you can trust. Call them now.
Welcome back, where we now head to sports, where there are some worrisome pieces of information, some news out of the Benner boys camp tonight. We go to Garfield Burford, who's going to tell us more about that. Good evening, Garfield.
Very good evening to you, Donna. Very good evening to Terry and to our viewers. Welcome to the wonderful world of sports. Not so wonderful news for the Benner boys, because the Antigua and Barbuda Benner boys will be without some of their key players for round 3 of the CFU Caribbean Cup. English-based striker Dexter Blackstock and midfielder Kyron Murtagh did not make the trip to Curacao ahead of Wednesday's fixture. Joel Rain has our report.
Blackstock suffered an injury in Rotherham's 1-0 defeat to Newcastle in the English Championship over the weekend. According to the ABFA's press officer, Troy Gibson, Murtagh, who plays for Woking FC in the National League, is having personal issues with his club. Gibson says the Red squad has arrived in Curacao, and despite the loss of Blackstock and Murtagh, the team is confident of beating the hosts. He says the 3 main strikers, Peter Byers, Stephen Smith and Javon Stevens, are capable of getting the job done. Gibson adds that Callum Geraldo Martin is expected to replace Murtagh in the central midfield, with Tamale Thomas and Reese Brown on the wings. Earlier, Captain Josh Parker made himself unavailable due to personal reasons. The Benner boys have had the better of their matchup against Curacao, winning 4 and drawing 1 of their 9 clashes. Most recently, the Antiguans prevailed 1-0 and 5-2 in the World Cup qualifiers in 2011. Of the 7 goals scored, Peter Byers and Tamale Thomas scored 2 each, and Quinton Griffith 1.
Thanks very much, Joel. Just before we go on to news on cricket, this developing story in the world of football, because FIFA President Gianni Infantino has proposed expanding the World Cup tournament to a 48-team competition, a larger number than his election promised. The Italian suggests that 16 of those teams would be eliminated after one knockout match before the group stages. The rest of the tournament would be the same as it is now, with 32 teams competing in group stages, followed by knockout rounds. Now, one of his election promises was to expand the finals to 40 teams. So he's now actually expanding on his election promise. to propose a 48-team tournament. Infantino said a decision would be taken by the governing body's council in January. So a developing story there in the world of football. Gianni Infantino suggesting 48 teams in the FIFA World Cup finals. Cricket now, and back home, the Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association has released the names of a 13-man squad for the ABCA Sports Tourism Independence Tri-20 Series. Now, the team includes Jermaine Otto, Jamal Fernandez, Orlando Peters, Hayden Walsh Jr. and Kofi James. Melvin Charles, Kadeem Phillip, Owen Graham, Tyrone Williams, Gavin Tong, Shaban Moore, Devon Thomas and Stanley Simon compete the roster. The Antiguans will take on Jamaica and the Windward Islands at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium. The side will be managed by Kenneth Benjamin and Ian Tittle. In the first encounter, the hosts will face Windwards on Friday at 7. The entrance fee is $10. Hear this. All-rounder Dwayne Bravo says the current players representing the West Indies against Pakistan are a lost group. The former captain says many of the players believe that wind ball cricket is better organized than what they are experiencing with the Caribbean team in Dubai. Georgetta Lewis has the details.
Bravo states that in Dubai, the players were lost. The management team was lost. Everything just looked like they were school kids again. And the team meeting had no sort of positive inputs or anything like that. The Trinidadian emphasized that while individually, the West Indies players were always motivated, the events leading up to the team leaving the Caribbean disturbed the entire momentum of the squad. He adds that it is very difficult for a bunch of 15 guys to really switch on when they are leaving for a series, and the day of the team traveling, they find out that their head coach Phil Simmons was fired. Bravo says he is concerned about the future of cricket in the region and warns that change has to start at the regional level. The 32-year-old says he remains passionate about the sport, but no longer has the desire to play this type of cricket anymore. A view, he says, shared by most of his teammates. The West Indies were swept in the 3-match T20 series and suffered losses in the 2 one-day internationals played so far. Georgetta Lewis for ABS Sports.
Thanks, Georgetta. Now, discarded West Indies skipper Darren Sammy has been selected by the Rajshahi Rockers ahead of the new Bangladesh Premier League season. We hear those details from Bikiza David.
Sami, who was relieved of captaincy duties recently, will be making his second appearance in the league, having played with the Rangpa Riders in 2015. The 32-year-old missed a chance to appear at the 2013 version of the tournament after opting to play the regional first-class competition. Sami will be among 10 West Indians in the BPL, including the usual suspects Chris Gayle, Dwayne Bravo, Andre Russell, along with Evan Lewis, Nicholas Puran, and Vincentian teenager Gidron Pope. There was, however, no room for ace spinner Sunil Narayan, who has failed to hit top form, or big hitter Kyron Pollard. The BPL had the third highest average attendance among all cricket league with respect to the average crowd per match during the 2015 season. In 2016, the BPL was revealed as the second most followed cricket league in the world, second to the Indian Premier League. Bikiza David, ABS Sports.
Thanks, Bikiza. Now, India will return to the top of the test rankings after wrapping up a series victory over New Zealand with a 178-run win in the second test in Kolkata. Now, having begun the day on 227 for 8, the hosts were bowled out for 263. Despite Tom Latham's to the Black Caps' second innings, the visitors fell well short of their target of 376, as you're seeing there. Mohammad Shami, Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja claimed 3 wickets apiece. From 141, New Zealand slumped to 156 for 6 before eventually being bowled out for 197. India 316 and 263, Rohit Sharma 82, Saha 58, Virat Kohli 45, Tim Bolt 3 for 38, Matthew Henry 3 for 59, Mitchell Satner 3 for 60. New Zealand 204 and 197, Latham 74, Shami 3 for 46, Ashwin 3 for 82 and Jadeja 3 for 41. So congrats to the Indians, back at the top of Test cricket. Antigua and Barbuda came away with 2 gold from the 44th CAC Bodybuilding Championships in the Dominican Republic over the weekend. We hear those details from Joel Rain.
The 10-member team returned home Sunday evening, led by gold medalists Kenny Jacobs and Kimberly Ephraim. Jacobs, the reigning Mr. Antigua, captured first place in the light heavyweight.
all the hard work has paid off, and then quite really get the overall. But there's more work to be put in, and back to the grind, and we'll get that. We'll get that overall. We'll get that pro card.
Ephraim was head and shoulder above the rest in the bikini tall class.
I won the same category last year and I was able to retain my title the second year in a row. Made some major improvements this off season and definitely going to be back again next year, hopefully to come back with that pro card. Everybody represented well. This CAC had over 340 athletes from everywhere, Honduras, all the Latin American countries, the entire Caribbean. It was a tough lineup and everybody made awesome presentation.
Making his debut was Rodney George, who collected the silver trophy in the junior bodybuilding category.
As soon as you get the first time, you get comfortable doing it over and over and over. And
Alves Jarvis ranked 4th in the classic bodybuilding. Frankie Brown placed 6th among the heavyweights and Elvis Bailey 4th in the lightweight. The other members who didn't medal included OJ Maria Jarvis and Kevin Lloyd in the body fitness, Wendy Tittle, women's physique, and Kenny Christian, men's physique. The team was greeted at the V.C. Bird International Airport by Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sports, Senator Colin James. Joel Rain, ABS Sports.
Thanks, Joel. And the cameramen here say they're working on their muscles too. Now, cycling, Marvin Spencer pedaled to his 4th straight victory in the grueling 40K time trial yesterday. Spencer dominated the field to win the elite class in 1 hour, 1 minute, 19.27 seconds ahead of Conroy Thomas and Joshua Garrell. In the highly competitive Masters, it was Garfield Henry who recorded the 2nd fastest time of the day. Henry finished just over 3 minutes behind Spencer, beating Jeffrey Kalsick and Sean Weatherhead into 2nd and 3rd places respectively. Emmanuel Garrell racked up yet another victory, his 10th on the season, to capture the junior class. Garrell's time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, 57.09 seconds was over 6 minutes ahead of David Simmons, while his brother Rene placed 3rd. Other winners included Vanessa Kalsick in the elite female and Alistair Savory in the sports class. Antigua and Barbuda, as we said, captured the elite men's title at the Eastern Caribbean Golf Championship in St. Croix over the weekend. Now, the team comprising Captain Otis Thomas, Dion Messiah, Wilson Charles, DeMar Jones finished ahead of St. Kitts and St. Croix. But the Twin Islands state, with Claudine Avestrel, Chris Kamjian, and Louise James, placed 6th in the women's section. In the super senior and senior divisions, the Antiguans were 2nd and 4th respectively. Joseph, Matthew and Patrick competed in the super seniors, while Veer Ambrose, Wesley Dyer and Xavier Ross made up the seniors. The overall title went to host St. Croix, with Guadeloupe 2nd, followed by St. Kitts and Antigua. One of the highlights of the tournament was the play of rising sensation DeMar James. The 12-year-old was in 4th place in the men's division at the end of the first day and finished the tournament in 5th place. Congrats to them. That's the sports. Just a reminder of one of the developing stories from sports tonight, that Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, proposing a 48-team World Cup finals. He had proposed 40 in his election manifesto when he was getting that position. Now he's actually expanding that to 48. Let's see what the team's governing body says in January. That's the sports. When we come back, news from overseas. Stay with us.
Ellie, David House is on fire.
You serious?
Yes, and the fire truck just passed me.
I keep telling you we need to get insurance.
I already have the car insured with state and I'm going to get the house insured.
And life insurance. And we can insure the jewelry and valuables too. Let's check the website.
Secure what matters to you most. At State Insurance, we offer life and medical, property, motor, and other insurance coverages to protect your most valuable from the unexpected. Visit our website at sicantigua.com or call 481-7800. State Insurance Corporation, for your protection and our economy.
Roll on it, jump on it, lie on it, or spend it. Shop today for a chance to win a mattress full of cash. Plus, get free pillows with selected purchases. It's easier than ever to find your perfect mattress at Quartz with our range of the world's best brands. Shop with Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 90 days. So get that mattress for the sleepy days ahead and win big. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome to Holland. Welcome to the country of the world's most famous farmers. This is where your Dutch lady milk comes from. Taste our nature at its best. Dutch Lady. Discover the goodness of milk from Holland.
The regional news is sponsored by Antigua Lottery.
You can win with the Caribbean Lottery. You can win, making a difference, changing lives. Take a chance. Take a chance, and you can win with the Caribbean Lottery. You can win. You can win.
Heavy rains from the outer bands of Hurricane Matthew drenched Jamaica and Haiti earlier today, flooding streets and countries. 2 deaths were reported in Haiti, bringing the total number of people killed so far to at least 4. 700 people packed shelters in the eastern parish of St. Thomas, and the Salvation Army said there were about 200 people at its shelters in Kingston as it put out a call for mattresses and cots. Many streets flooded throughout the country's southeast. Over in Haiti, at least 1,200 people were evacuated to shelters in churches and schools. Forecasters said the storm was expected to dump as much as 40 inches of rain on some isolated areas of Haiti, raising fears of deadly mudslides and floods in heavily deforested country where many families lived in flimsy houses with corrugated metal roofs. Now, news just in, the Met Office in Jamaica has downgraded the hurricane warning to a tropical storm warning. Forecasters say the island is now expected to be outside of the range of hurricane force winds associated with Hurricane Matthew, but will likely experience tropical storm conditions. This means that tropical storm conditions, including possible sustained winds speeds of 39 to 73 miles per hour, are expected to affect Jamaica in 36 hours or less. Several Antiguan students are in Jamaica, and the government here has taken steps to ensure their safety in light of the adverse weather conditions. Meanwhile, the Cuban government has taken measures to prepare for the impact of Matthew in its eastern regions, which will feel the impact of the Category 4 hurricane. A hurricane warning is in effect for the Cuban provinces of Guantanamo, Santiago de Cuba, Holguin, Granma, and Las Tunas, while a hurricane watch is in effect for the Cuban province of Camogüey. The civil defense said in a statement on Saturday that numerous measures to protect the state's assets as well as human lives are being taken in these 6 provinces. Authorities have undertaken massive evacuations, particularly in coastal areas, while opening shelters and organizing volunteer teams to clean storm drains and gather food stocks. Now here's a look at the regional newspapers, beginning with the Barbados Nation. Toyota checks is their top story. In the face of an apparent upsurge in the theft of Toyota cars in Barbados, authorities have stepped up measures to apprehend culprits and return the vehicles to their rightful owners. Minister of Transport and Works Michael Lashley says it's a serious problem in the country at this time. I am ready to lead headlines. The Guyana Chronicle today. Colonel George Allen Lewis takes command of the Guyana Defense Force after 35 years of distinguished military service. And though he has acknowledged that the challenge will be great, the 55-year-old said he is ready to lead. On the front page of the Trinidad Express, killed for $200. Although $200 demanded by a hustler was handed over, Michael Ali still lost his life. Ali, 31, was approached by the man who worked for him. The man demanded his payment, after which a struggle ensued and Ali was stabbed once to the left side of his chest. And the Jamaica Gleaner reports this is it, as flooding from brief periods of torrential rainfall exposed the looming threat of Hurricane Matthew. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie lamented that the fact that residents of low-lying and flood-prone areas have reportedly refused to heed calls for them to evacuate. We have more developments after the break. Stay with us.
Multiply your winnings. Multiply your fun. Play the new X Games from the Caribbean Lottery. Multiply your money up to 50 times for the extreme winnings of up to $120,000 with over $3.5 million in prizes to be won. Play the new X Games from the Caribbean Lottery.
Now up first in our international stories this evening, Donald Trump's campaign is defending the billionaire businessman after a report says he may have avoided paying taxes for nearly 2 decades. The details are all in this Euronews report.
The revelation that Donald Trump could have avoided hundreds of millions of dollars in income taxes has become the dominant issue of the election campaign and potentially opened a can of worms for the Republican nominee. Yes, it was legal, but piling up almost $1 billion of losses in 1 year cuts into Trump's argument of being a great businessman. In addition, as the candidate's voluminous social media record shows, Trump has taken to Twitter many times over the past years to denounce tax avoiders and complain about the misuse of his own tax dollars. By playing with the tax code, Trump is now feeding the anger of his own core base that believes that the system is rigged and the cards are stacked in favor of people like Trump.
And in another development, bilateral relations have taken a turn for the worse between the United States and Russia. In a new development, Russia has suspended an agreement with the US on the disposal of surplus weapons-grade plutonium. We go again to Euronews this evening for more.
Moscow has suspended an agreement on the disposal of surplus weapons-grade plutonium. The Kremlin said unfriendly acts by the US towards the Russian Federation pushed President Vladimir Putin to sign a decree halting the agreement, which came into force in 2010. Initially signed in 2000, the agreement committed both sides to destroying 34 tons each of plutonium, enough, Washington says, for approximately 17,000 nuclear weapons. The material was to be burned in nuclear reactors. Putin's administration has submitted to Parliament a draft bill outlining conditions it wants the US to fulfill for the deal to be resumed. These include reducing US military presence in countries that joined NATO after September 1st, 2000, and calling for Washington to lift all sanctions against Russia. The government is also demanding compensation for damage caused by the embargoes.
Now, after another commercial break, we take a look at the weather with Lorne Salmon.
And later, the Friends of Mount St. John's Medical Center continues to give generously to the facility. And hear how the people of Barbuda will benefit this week from the ministry's I Care mission. These stories are still to come right here on the ABS Evening News. Stay with us.
Roll on it, jump on it, lie on it, or spend it. Shop today for a chance to win a mattress full of cash. Plus, get free pillows with selected purchases. It's easier than ever to find your perfect mattress at Quartz with our range of the world's best brands. Shop with Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 90 days. So get that mattress for the sleepy days ahead and win big. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Shipping is The 19th World Crown Music Festival, October 20 and 29 and 30, Windsor Bank Sports Stadium, Roseau, Dominica. Featuring Acorn, Wyclef Jean, Pop Candle, Gurmishers of Gentleman, Morgan Heritage. Castor Band, Mr. Keeler, Dennis Equi, WCK, Triple K, Esteban to the original Booyah Pioneers, Midnight Groovers, Ophelia, Michael Anderson, Timaya, Brave, Ecstasy, Creole Latin, Mickey and more. Season tickets 325 EC, nightly tickets 120. The World Creole Music Festival, the Musical.
Look at me, hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Hello there, I'm Lance.
And I'm Kenneth.
We are the hosts of the Gospel Train morning show on ABS radio and television.
We invite you to come on board with us from Monday to Friday for your motivation, your devotion, and your encouragement.
Join us weekdays, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Come on board, the Gospel Train.
Don't waste the water!
Did you know that water can be recycled? Use rinsing water from your laundry or doing the dishes to water your plants. Or instead of using the sprinkler, you can wash your car on the lawn so it waters the grass at the same time.
This public service message is brought to you by your friends at APUA. Don't waste the water.
Bonnie, you know I can't tell the last time I went for a good walk.
But wait, Shem, you haven't heard about the Medical Benefits Scheme Pigeon Point Challenge?
Medical Benefit Scheme Pigeon Point Challenge?
Yes, MBS is having a fun walk ride challenge on Saturday, 8th October at 3:45 a.m.
Really? So how do I join?
Well, registration is $10 for adults, children are free, and the first 50 persons pay only $5.
Wow, I wonder if I can manage that.
Don't worry, go at your own pace. You can also start at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium or the Bargain Center Supermarket in Tyrrell.
Sounds great.
Yes, and be sure to wear pink.
And you know real men wear pink.
So what you waiting on? Let's go and sign up now.
The Medical Benefit Scheme. We care.
The Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, in conjunction with Sports Tourism, presents the Independence Tri-20 Cricket Tournament. Ready in 3, 2, 1. This goes down from 7 October to 15 October at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium. Who will emerge victorious? Who will emerge the champion? Come see for yourself as these teams go head-to-head. Antigua, Barbuda, Jamaica, and Windward Islands. Matches commence at 7 p.m. during the week and from 6 p.m. on weekends. Admission is $10 for the regular matches and $20 for the finals. It's heavy hitting cricket action for the Independence Tri-20 Cricket Tournament 2016.
We're back here now with the weather report, and Lon Salmon is here to tell us about Hurricane Matthew churning its way in the Caribbean Sea. Lon?
Yes, good evening to you, Terry, and good evening to Antigua and Barbuda. Yes, and we are tracking a very powerful hurricane. That's Hurricane Matthew, and this system has the potential to have some catastrophic impacts on the countries over which it passes over the next several days. But we'll tell you about this and more after the break.
The weather report is brought to you by United Insurance.
You think you're prepared, right? Sure, you have batteries. And of course, you've done repairs. But can you replace your home and its possessions if they are damaged or destroyed? Is your house insured adequately? You can never be too prepared for a natural disaster. Have a preparedness plan in place for you and your family. And be sure to insure your vehicle, your property, and its contents with Massey United Insurance. Contact our agent, Anjo Insurances, at 480-3050 or visit us online at www.masseyunitedinsurance.com.
Welcome back, and straight away we look at Hurricane Matthew, which is really the talk of the day. And as of 5 p.m. today, this system was located near latitude just about 16.3 degrees north, longitude 74.7 degrees west, or just about 225 miles southwest of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Now, this is a very powerful system that we're looking at here. It's a Cat 4 hurricane. It is packing winds now of 120 knots or 140 miles per hour. And the thing about it is that this system is moving quite slowly, moving towards the north at just about 7 miles per hour, and that's equivalent to about 5 to 6 knots or so. Currently, we are still seeing some spiral bands from the system, bringing quite a lot of heavy showers across sections of Jamaica as well as Haiti, resulting in flooding across those areas as well. Now, Matthew is expected to move towards the north over the next 24 hours, and as it gets closer to these islands over later tonight as well as through to tomorrow, we're looking for conditions to deteriorate even more over the next 24 hours. This is a multi-hazard system, and we're looking at lots of winds associated with it, lots of strong winds. We're also looking at heavy rains because this system has a lot of water in it as well too. And also we're looking from the marine side, some storm surge up to as much as 11 to 12 associated with this system. So as it moves into the vicinity of these western islands, we are looking for lots of flooding across sections of Jamaica as well as Haiti, but even more so Haiti, because the system, or the eye of the system, or the center of the system, is expected to pass quite close to Haiti between later tonight and tomorrow. Now for Jamaica, the good news is that that tropical storm or hurricane warning has been downgraded tropical storm warning. Nevertheless, Jamaica will still continue to see lots of rain tomorrow from this particular system. As for Haiti, we're looking as much as 40 inches of rainfall across sections of Haiti, but mainly in isolated amounts. So Haiti certainly will bear the brunt of this particular storm. Let's just have a look at the forecast track for Hurricane Matthew, and we can see the system is located just still south of the islands. However, over 12 to 24 hours is expected to move in the vicinity of Jamaica and Cuba as well as Haiti, and we can see the areas that are under hurricane warnings and the areas that are under tropical storm warnings. Here, the area highlighted in blue is Jamaica, and Jamaica is under tropical storm warning, and we are looking at Haiti under hurricane warning, highlighted in red, also eastern Cuba, and we can see that pretty much all of the Bahamas at this point in time are also under hurricane warning. Again, the system is expected to move towards the north over the next 24 hours, then take a slightly northwesterly movement, and we can see basically that pretty much it will be a messy situation across these islands later tonight as well as tomorrow. Again, already spiral bands from this system are affecting sections of Jamaica as well as Haiti, leading to flooding across sections of those countries rather. We are looking at the area of low pressure located to the northeast of the Eastern Caribbean. This has just about a 50% chance to develop into a tropical cyclone. We'll continue to follow this system. However, it is not expected to be a threat to the islands of the Eastern Caribbean. Also in the Eastern Atlantic, we are looking at a tropical wave which is somewhat active out there, but the conditions are not conducive at this point in time for further development into a tropical cyclone. By about Friday or so, this system is expected to get into the northeastern Caribbean. So around that time, we could very well see some showers and perhaps even some thunderstorms across Barbuda and most of the Eastern Caribbean by Friday. Let's just have a look at the Eastern Caribbean forecast. And again, it's going to be a messy situation tonight and tomorrow across the most western Caribbean islands. We're looking for cloudy to overcast skies with lots of showers and thunderstorms across Haiti, Jamaica, as well as Cuba. And as well, we're looking at rainfall totals as much as 40 inches of rainfall could fall mainly over Haiti, but in isolated amounts. Across Puerto Rico, as well as the Virgin Islands, spiral bands from the system will bring some squally conditions to Puerto Rico tomorrow, and to a lesser extent the Virgin Islands. So they will see some cloudy spells with showers, and there's a good chance of some thunderstorms as well to develop over those islands. Across the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, from the Leeward Islands south to Trinidad and Tobago, well, partly sunny conditions are expected for most of tomorrow. Perhaps you could get some light and localized showers, mainly during the afternoon hours. Let's now have a look at what we expect, well, what the rainfall total for Antigua looks like. Well, we haven't recorded any rainfall at the airport for the month of August, so the total stands at nil. Let's have a look at now at the average. The average for the month of October is just about 5.60 inches or 142.2 millimeters. Moving on now to what's happening right now on the outside. We're looking at cloudy skies prevailing over Antigua and Barbuda, but most of the clouds are the high-level types and not the type of clouds that will bring any significant rainfall. Our current temperature is about 28 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds are blowing out of the southeast and averaging just about 3 knots. Later tonight, we're looking at fair to partly cloudy skies to prevail. The winds will remain out of the southeast at just about 3 knots. The winds could become calm at times. The temperature low, or the overnight low, will drop to about 26 degrees Celsius or 79 degrees Fahrenheit. As for tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy skies are expected for most of the day. During the afternoon hours, again, you could have some localized cloudy spells, as well as some light and localized showers as well. Temperature highs should get up to about 31 degrees Celsius or 88 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds will blow out of the east and the southeast and will range between 6 and 12 knots. Sunrise time tomorrow will be at 5:58 and sunset time will be at 5:53. As for the marine forecast, well, sea conditions are moderate right now. They're quite okay for small craft operation and also for sea bathing. We're looking at winds over coastal waters blowing out of the east and getting up to near 15 knots at times, and sea heights will average just about 5 feet. Let's now have a look at the extended weather forecast. Well, on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're looking at sunny to partly cloudy skies to prevail. Just some light localized showers could develop, mainly during the afternoon hours. On Thursday, we're looking at partly cloudy to cloudy skies. There's a chance of having some showers late Thursday afternoon into the evening. On Friday, that tropical wave will increase the chance of showers, even thunderstorms over Antigua and Barbuda. Temperature high will be just about 1 degree Celsius on average or 88 degrees Fahrenheit, but with some showers around on Friday, we expect a high of about 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And we can see the low as well for Friday will be just about 23 degrees Celsius or 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we take a break at this point, and after the break, we'll have some more news.
You think you're prepared, right? Sure, you have batteries. And of course, you've done repairs. But can you replace your home and its possessions if they are damaged or destroyed? Is your house insured adequately? You can never be too prepared for a natural disaster. Have a preparedness plan in place for you and your family. And be sure to insure your vehicle, your property, and its contents with Massey United Insurance. Contact our agent, Anjo Insurances, at 480-3050 or visit us online at www.masseyunitedinsurance.com.
Roll on it, jump on it, lie on it, or spend it. Shop today for a chance to win a mattress full of cash. Plus, get free pillows with selected purchases. It's easier than ever to find your perfect mattress at Quartz with our range of the world's best brands. Shop with Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing for 90 days. So get that mattress for the sleepy days ahead and win big. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Mi Casa Imports Limited is having its craziest tile clearance sale ever. Prices have been slashed store-wide. Every beautiful floor and wall tile reduced between 20 to 30%. Ceramic, porcelain and glass tiles all reduced. Come in and visit our improved air-conditioned showroom on Sir George Water Highway and choose from one of the largest selections of tiles in Antigua. Not seeing what you want? No problem. We will get it from one of over 50 factories we represent worldwide. Mi Casa Imports Limited, making luxury affordable.
Welcome to Holland. Welcome to the country of the world's most famous farmers. This is where your Dutch lady milk comes from. Taste our nature at its best. Dutch lady, discover the goodness of milk from Holland.
story for this evening. The Friends of Mount St. John's Medical Centre have made yet another donation to the facility. The charity group has donated a supply of infusion pumps valued at about $32,500, and the hospital is in need of 20 pumps. However, the charity was able to afford 10 at this time. Funds were raised through various fundraising efforts, with all proceeds going towards the Mount St. John's Medical Centre. President of the charity, Dwayne Derrick, expressed appreciation to all who have supported the charity over the years.
Mount St. John is here for all of us, and you never know when you're going to be here, because life is so fleeting. You know, you don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow.
The organisation, which started over 20 years ago, raises funds solely for donation to the facility. On Saturday, the charity will be having another fundraiser, Tickle Me Pink, at the Athletic Club, with tickets being sold for $50. All proceeds will go towards additional supplies. Now, that's been the news. In case you missed it, here's a recap of our top stories. Colin James rebuffs comments from Rob Barrett criticising the operations of the Tourism Authority.
Cruise tourism boosts. The country makes impressive presentation at cruise conference in Puerto Rico.
Day 4 of the Humberto Shinato murder trial. The court hears the senior citizen was planning to kill himself after the alleged murder of his wife.
And yet another fire. 2 structures razed by mid-afternoon blaze. For this evening, as you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and on Saturday, CIBC First Caribbean spearheaded a walk. Included in the scores of walkers were the Bell sisters, Lornette, Bridget, Cheyenne, Veronica, and Pat. Involvement in the walk was very personal and significant to the Bells, as one of them is herself a breast cancer survivor. Remember, when you're out and about and you witness something interesting, something beautiful, something incredible, send it to us. Our email is abs.news@ab.gov.ag.
Wonderful cause, and I hope that everybody within the whole island does things that are going to raise money for breast cancer awareness during the month of October. Well, anyway, this has been the news. I am Donna Marie McIntosh, and on behalf of our news and production team, thank you for watching.
And I'm Terry Andrew. God willing, we'll be right back here at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
This is ABS, the face of national broadcasting.